Hello friends, I'm Abby and today I will be doing a flip through of my February reading bullet journal and setting up my March reading bullet journal. As you can see, I really only used the books I read and video planning spread in my February bullet journal, but I really loved the setup and I did find myself turning to it quite often. I just don't use my quote page as much as I would like to, but I'm hoping to change that. What I'm doing now is setting up my books I loved for the month spread, which this will be a fun spoiler for you for my wrap-up video. But I did love these 7 books this month. They were my favorites of the month, and I always make this little spread where I include my favorite books of the month. It's one of my new favorite spreads to do. And now that I have that all set up, I am going on to my March setup. So I always try to keep my color theme the same in my reading bullet journal as I do for my regular bullet journal, just because it makes it easier for me in terms of creating new spreads and making sure I'm using the same markers. I don't have to find different markers to use in the setups. So I am doing kind of a plant theme in my reading bullet journal. It's just much more abstract and less detailed than it is in my real bullet journal, my everyday bullet journal. So I'm just setting up this big plant in the center of my cover page, and I just love how minimal this setup was and how easy it was to set up. All I did was use the green to make leaves, draw a black line down the center, and then outline the leaves in black. Super simple, and anyone could do it. And then I used my white Jelly Roll gel pen to kind of outline the words March where it covers the green so that you can see it a little more clearly. Next, I'm setting up my TBR and my hauled page, which I include every month. And I use the top half to write my TBR for the month and the bottom half to write any books that I buy in the month of March. And I'm just drawing a couple hanging plants up at the top of the page. And I have this plant washi tape that I absolutely love, and I'm just adding it into the bottom. Next up, I'm setting my video planning page up. So what I do is I just outline the calendar for the month with 3x3 squares, and once this is done, I use it to create basically a mini calendar to track what videos I'm posting when. And you will notice that I messed up this month. Instead of doing 3x3, one of my boxes is a 4x3, and that's totally fine. Those little things are why I love bullet journaling, because it doesn't have to be perfect. And I use some of my Tombow Dual brush pens in different colors of green as kind of the green accents on this page. And as always, I include my little YouTube tracker to track how many subscribers I have on here. The bottom half of the page is my idea dump page that I use for ideas specifically related to any kind of YouTube stuff. So it sometimes is books, sometimes is bullet journaling, whatever I think of to include. At the top of this page, I'm drawing some more hanging plants. If you watched me set up my everyday bullet journal, you've seen me set up these hanging plants on there. And on this spread, I'm just drawing a couple different plants, kind of winging it. And this page is going to be my quote page. Like I said, I didn't use it last month. I've never been very good at using the quote page, so I'm hoping to get better at it because I do have lots of quotes that stand out to me while reading. I just don't always remember to write them down. Next up, I am participating in a readathon with this month. As you may know, if you watched my March TBR, I'm participating in the Tis the Damn Readathon, which is a Taylor Swift readathon hosted by a lot of people here on BookTube, but Emma at Drinking by My Shelf is the main one. And so I am using the logo that they created, which looks like this little house, and it includes all 9 of Taylor Swift's albums. And I'm just cutting them out from this logo so that I can give myself more space to write in what the prompt is and what book I'll be reading for each of these prompts. For this readathon, there is kind of an extra prompt for each of the different albums, and so I drew a little extras box on the right hand side where I can put the extra fun prompt that goes along with each of these albums. And then as you can see, I'm just going through and writing for each album what the prompt is that I will be following to meet the prompt. For extras, I'm just writing out each of the albums as well as the extra prompt that I will be completing. And the prompts are all song names from these albums, which I think is really cool. So I'm just writing the song name that goes with the prompt underneath it. The page I'm setting up now is my books read spread, which I loved last month, just kind of this super easy setup of drawing random blobs of color. So I used the different greens that I have this month to draw some blobs of color because it's super simple, really easy, and it showcases all the different shades of green. And my husband pointed out that it does kind of look St. Patrick's Day themed, which I actually really love that it turned out that way without me even meaning for it to. So I'm just adding in the title, Books Read, and then on the right-hand side, I have my Books Loved, where I'll put the book covers of all the books that I loved this month. And that brings us to the flip through. So I hope you all enjoyed watching me set up my reading bullet journal this month, and I hope that it gave you some inspiration for setting up your own reading bullet journal or reading spreads in your everyday bullet journal. And I'll see you all next time. Bye, friends.